cha Brahman kasmad deto rabun mridaha. What was the reason, O Brahman, for the fight between the demon king and Lord Boar, while the Lord was lifting the earth as his pastime? Text 4. Shadadanaya bhaktaya bruhita janma vistaram rishena tripyati manaha param kotu halam hime. Shadadanaya bhaktaya bruhita janma vistaram rishena tripyati manaha param kotu halam hime. Shraddhanaya, unto a faithful person, Bhaktaya, unto a devotee, Bruhi, please narrate, Tat, his, Janma, appearance, Vistaram, in detail, Rishe, O great sage,
I'm black
Na,
too.
not, Tripyati, become satisfied, Manaha, mind, Param, very much, Kotu halam, inquisitive. He, certainly. Me, my. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. My mind has become very inquisitive, and therefore I'm not satisfied with hearing the narration of the Lord's appearance. Please therefore speak more and more to a devotee who is faithful. One who is actually faithful and inquisitive is qualified to hear the transcendental pastimes of the appearance and disappearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vidura was a suitable candidate to receive such transcendental message. Text 5. Maitreya uvacha sadhu vira tvaya prishtam avatara katam hare yatvam prachasi martyanam mrityupasha vishatanim. Maitreya uvacha, Maitreya said, Sadhu, devotee, Vira, O warrior, Twaya, by you, Prishtam, inquired, Avatara Katam, topic on the incarnation of the Lord, Harehe, of the personality of Godhead, Yat, that, which, Twam, your good self, Prichasi, asking me, Martyanam, of those who are destined for death, Mrityupasha, the chain of birth and death, Vishatanim, source of liberation. Translation. The great sage Maitreya said, O warrior, the inquiry made by you is just befitting a devotee, because it concerns the incarnation of the personality of Godhead. He is the source of liberation from the chain of birth and death for those who are otherwise destined to die. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The great sage Maitreya addressed Vidura as a warrior, not only because Vidura belonged to the Kuru family, but because he was anxious to hear about the chivalrous activities of the Lord in his incarnations of Varaha and Nrsimha. Because the inquiries concerned the Lord, they were perfectly befitting a devotee. A devotee has no taste for hearing anything mundane. There are many topics of mundane warfare, but a devotee is not inclined to hear them. The topics of the warfare in which the Lord engages do not concern the war of death, but the war against the chain of Maya, which obliges one to accept repeated birth and death. In other words, one who takes delight in hearing the war topics of the Lord is relieved from the chain of birth and death. Foolish people are suspicious of Krishna's taking part in the battle of Kuruksetra, not knowing that his taking part ensured liberation for all, who were present on the battlefield. It is said by Bhishmadev that all who were present on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original spiritual existence after death. Therefore, hearing the war topics of the Lord is as good as any other devotional service. Omagyana Timirandasya Gyana Gyana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Gena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangur Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tanaham Bande Shri Guru Dinatarinim. So, this third canto, 14th chapter, is a description leading up to the incarnation of the Lord Varaha and Lord Nishingadev. Many incarnations of the Lord. Ete chamsa kalapumsam Krishna stu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Midyanti Yuge Yuge. In the first canto, Sukadev Goswami tells Parikshit Maharaj that the Lord appears, Krishna Stu Bhagavan, the original independent Lord, appears at his whim, and he also appears Nanavataram in different forms. He appeared as a fish, Matsya avatar, and saved the Vedas. Maharaj Satyavrata is described in the 8th canto. That this little fish came in his pond, in his container, and then it got bigger and bigger and bigger. Eventually, it was in the Garbodak Ocean, which was inundating the universe. We also hear that the Lord appeared as Lord Kurma to assist the demigods and devotees, the demigods and demons, daityas, in churning the ocean to get various desirable articles, and of course the immortal nectar. And then the Lord appeared again as Mohini Murti to bewilder the demons, the daityas, so that the Lord always wants to help the demigods, the devotees of the Lord. So here, Vidura, he is in the Kurava dynasty. He is a brother of Dhritarashtra. He also, we know, like the Lord's hand was involved here because Lord Yamaraj had punished one Mandak Muni. As a child, he poked a little worm or something, and Lord Yamaraj had punished him. He was actually had some dacoits hiding around his ashram, and when the king came, he arrested the Muni, Mundak Muni, and therefore he was in this way cursed. Yamaraj was cursed to take birth as a Sudra. So actually, Vidura is the son of Veda Vyasadeva, and one of the queens, there were various princesses. She sent her maidservant to be impregnated by Veda Vyas because
holy shit,
he was so fearful looking. Someone's breaking into our our interview here, our project. So Vidura wants to hear, my mind has become very inquisitive, and therefore I'm not satisfied with hearing the narration of the Lord's appearance. So he wants to know, Vidura wants to know what's leading up to Lord Varaha. And so we hear that Diti, one of the wives of Kashyapa Muni, she became overwhelmed by lusty desires, and she approached Kashyapa Muni at the time when Lord Shiva is roaming around, twilight time, and that Kasyapa Muni was warning her, this is not a good time for conception. Just wait until this time passes. The ghosts and hobgoblins who follow Lord Shiva around, they would be quite active and would influence the conception in a negative way. But we know that Lord Krishna always has a plan. And Krishna also has fighting spirit. So he wants to appear and
Hail
also
Hitler!
engage the demoniac persons in in his fighting spirit. So therefore, Lord Varaha appears and he saves the earth, Bhumi, from the Darbadak water, and he also appears again as Lord Nrsingadev. So these two demons were conceived in the womb of Diti, Lord Varaha and Lord Nrsingadev. Now it says here, the one who's actually faithful and inquisitive is qualified to hear the transcendental pastimes of the
I
Lord.
am the Grand Wizard Man, born
And
as
so
a clocks.
um, there are 10 offenses to the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. And one of the apparats is to preach to those, teach the holy name, the qualities and the nature of the holy name to the faithless. So when we go out and chant, of course, we're just giving the holy name, but we're not explaining the depths and the transcendental qualities of the pastimes, the form, the activities, the beauty, all the different aspects of the holy name, which is non-different from Krishna. Kalikalar Dharm, Harinam Sankirtan, that in the age of Kali, this holy name, Kalikalar Namarupa Krishna avatar, that this holy name is an incarnation of the Lord. So these things are not to be actually explained. That would be an offense to the holy name. But here it says, Shrad, that Vidura, of course, is a great devotee of the Lord. He self-realized soul. He is an incarnation of Lord Yamaraj. And so he's fully qualified to hear all the transcendental activities, pastimes, paraphernalia, the glories, the beauty, and form of the Supreme Lord as Lord Varaha, lotus-eyed boar incarnation, and as Lord Nrsingadev, half man, half lion, who killed Hiranyakashipu, the brother of Hiranyaksha. Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, they were so so powerful that even the demigods were defeated by them. We know that Hiranyaksha wanted to do battle with the Lord of the Waters, Varuna, but Varuna said, "No, no, I'm not qualified to do battle with you. For better you go and search out Vishnu." And so we know that Lord Vishnu took this form as a boar. Why? Because Hiranyaksha had taken all the gold out of the Earth planet, and the Earth planet had fallen at the bottom of the Darbadak Ocean, which fills up half of our universe. Therefore, the Lord came as a boar because the boar always digs down and picks up things. So he picked up the Mother Earth planet and put her back in orbit, and then had battle with Hiranyaksha, um, and kicked him in the earlobe, and he was sent back. He was killed and Pralaya devastated. Of course, they were cursed by the four Kumaras to take birth as demons in the material world, and they chose, well, to take birth in the material world, and they chose to take birth 3 times as demons rather than 10 times as devotees. They were eager to go back to the Vaikuntha planets. Jai Vijay, the gatekeepers at the seventh gate of the Vaikuntha uh, area of the universe. So these are transcendental activities. Machita Madhyata Prana, Bodhiyatas Parasparam, Katayantas Chamam Nityam. The devotees of the Lord, they only want to hear topics that are transcendental, topics related to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They're actually not interested in hearing Gramya Kata, politics, which is under the heading of Prajalpa. We know that the Rupa Goswami, the great father of devotional service, empowered by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that in the Upadeshamrita, he warns us of the 6 obstacles on the path of devotional service. Atyahara, overeating, over-collecting, Prajalpa Niyamagraha, Prajalpa, discussing mundane topics, politics, social things, complications. This material world is full of dukkhalayam, unhappiness, and is all temporary, comes and goes. Everything is coming and going. Prahlad Maharaj tells his father, Matirna Krishna Parata Satova Mito Bipadyeta Grihavratanam. Adanta Gobir Vishatam Tamishram Puna Puna Charvita Charvananam. That people, human civilizations, are constantly trying to make advancement materially, economic development, more material comforts, more material enjoyment. They're simply chewing that which has already been chewed for millions and billions of eons of time here in the material world. So he tells his father, Adanta Gobir, that this activity of economic advancement, material desires, trying to enjoy this world, is simply like someone who falls into a deep, dark well. There's nothing but darkness, nothing but misery. And you're simply chewing that which is already being chewed. And then he tells his father, Vanam Gatoya Darim Ashriyeta. Why don't you go to the forest of Vrindavan? And Tatsadu Manesur Varya Dehinam Sada Samudvigya Dhyamasadgahat. Idvatma Patam Griham Andakupam. Why are you living in this world of friends and relatives and family and house and property and all these things which are nothing but a blind well, living in a blind well, no realization of the self, simply pursuing external happiness, therefore known as bahir arta, trying to enjoy things outside of one's own self. Nate vidusva arta gatimi vishnum. They don't know, nate vidu, that their real self-interest is to awaken their love for God, Vishnu, love for Krishna, Vishnu, their devotion to Krishna or Vishnu, to awaken Jiv Jago, awaken spirit soul, wake up and cultivate your practice of bhakti yoga. So Rupa Goswami has warned us about these different pitfalls in devotional service. Politics, friendship, society friendship, love, and so many things like this. Baram udvahato vimudha. Maya sukaya baram udvahato vimudha. Prahlad Maharaj says to Nisringadev, Lord Nisringadev, after he killed Hiranyakashipu, the demon who persecuted the Brahmins, the sages. He broke their ashrams. He stopped the performance of yagyas and rituals. He stopped the protection of cows and Brahmins. He thought, oh, if I stop these things, then I can kill Vishnu. But Krishna is Achinta and Achyuta, infallible. infallible. Ajopi san avyayatma. Avyatma, he never expires. Bhutanam Ishvaropi san, and he's the Lord of all the living entities. He's the Lord of the entire universe. He's created this universe, and he maintains the universe. Adantarasa Paramanu Chiantarastam. He's situated between the atoms and within the atoms. Therefore, we have so many wonderful Yadvad Vibhuti Mat Sattvam. Srimat Urvitam Evava, Tata Deva Vagachatvam, Mamote Jamsa Sambhava. All these wonderful things we see in our universe, the various planets moving around in their specific orbits, the wind blowing, the great oceans of the world, all the different species of life. Krishna says this is but a spark. Mamote Jamsha Sambhava, a spark of my splendor. So Vidura wants to hear these wonderful activities from Maitreya Muni. And Sukadeva Goswami is relating this to Parikshit Maharaj. That his forefather Vidura, his uncle Vidura, is very eager. Devotees simply want their ear holes to be filled with Krishna Katha. Kantayatas chamam nityam, katayantas chamam nityam, tushyanti cha, ramanti cha. Tushyanti, simply want to hear 24 hours a day the holy name, the holy glories, his transcendental pastimes, the name, transcendental name of the Lord. This is very purifying to the heart and raises the consciousness to the platform of Brahma Bhuta. And everyone is trying to find happiness and peace in this world, but we have the formula. Lord Brahma is the original Acharya. We're in the Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself, in this age of Kali, has appeared, and he has invested all his potencies in the holy name of the Lord. Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti Titarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala. That Itajasi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Dudaiva Idrisam Ihajani Nanuraga. Oh my Lord, your holy name is full of potencies, and there's no hard and fast rule for chanting these names. Anyone can chant these names of the Lord and attain peace and happiness and fulfillment in life. This is given by Lord Chaitanya in this age of Kali. He has invested all his potencies in these holy names. And Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, the six Goswamis, and other great Swamis, Lokanath Goswami, other great personalities have appeared with the Supreme Lord. And his only weapons in this Kali Yuga, Krishna Varnam Trisha Krishna, Sangopangascha Parshadam. His only weapons are his associates, and they're simply spreading this prema bhakti, this highest love of God, is being spread by simple chanting of the holy names of the Lord. So here, because Vidura is deeply cultivated his faith in the Lord. Ado Shuddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. First, we give the holy name to the public, and then they have developed their faith by reading Srila Prabhupada's purports, by hearing this philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. They come and sadhu sangha, they associate with devotees. So Gauranga Mahaprabhu has warned us, satsanga tyag e vaishnavachar, Sri Sadhu Krishna Bhakta Ara. We should associate only with devotees of the Lord who are pure in heart and who are attempting to chant the holy names of the Lord purely without committing any offenses. That is real sadhu, one who is attained the Shuddha Sattva platform. Of course, Kapila Dev describes that there's different types of devotees. Some devotees are considered to be separatists. Some devotees are harsh, angry. These are actually qualities that compromise one's devotional service. And Kapila Dev tells Mother Devahuti in the third canto here that we should avoid such devotees, separatist devotees whose devotional service is the mode of ignorance. So we want to associate in a pure way, without aparad, without offenses. We want to associate with those devotees of the Lord who are free from all vice. So Vidura is full of this shrad. And then sadhu sangha tata bhajana kriya. Then there's devotee develops more faith, and he's engaged in chanting and hearing from the scripture, shastra, and shruti. Shruti, Smriti, Purana. He's hearing from Shruti and Smriti, given by the great acharyas. And then he becomes nishta, becomes fixed in Vedi Bhakti, or rules and regulations. He wakes up early, Brahma Muhurta hour. He worships the deity of the Lord in the temple. Um, and then he chants the holy names of the Lord in association of devotees. This is called Vedi Sadhana, or rules and regulations of devotional service, avoiding the anartas, anarta nivriti syat. He purifies his heart of all materialistic desires for material opulence or fame or sense gratification. All these things are removed from the heart of a devotee who is sincerely pleasing the spiritual master. So at this stage, the spiritual master is giving guidance to the devotee. So Maitreya here is giving wonderful guidance to Vidura. And here he indicates that Vidura is described as a warrior. So of course he's born in the Kuru dynasty, they're Kshatriyas, but it also means that we are waging war against the illusory energy of the Lord. Um, Once one surrenders to Krishna, uh, then of course he declares war on Maya. Maya, or Durga, means prison. Durga means prison. So the conditioned souls, Icha Dvesha Samutena Dvanva Mohena Bharata. Krishna says that the living entity falls into illusion from the spiritual plateau, overcome by the dualities of desire and hate. Icha Dvesha Samutena Dvanva Mohena Bharata. Sarva Bhutani Samoham. Samoham. They're bewildered by the modes of material nature, Rajagun, Tamagun, especially, and Sattva Gun. At least we try to come to Sattva Gun. So this is, Prabhupada describes that this is uh, the devotee is a warrior. His armor that he wears, his suit of armor, are the adherence to the instructions of the spiritual master. Yasya Devi Para Devi Tata Guru, Tata Devi Tata Guru, Tasyaite Katita Hiyarta, Prakashante Mahatmana, Yasya Devi Para Bhaktir, Tata Devi Tata Guru. That one develops great faith, Shrad, in the instructions of Guru and Gauranga, of Guru and Krishna. The spiritual master guides the devotee through the forest of the material world, through all the dangers of this material world. And he explains implicitly and explicitly what Krishna's words mean. What is this Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita? What does it mean? So here, Srila Prabhupada's purport is explaining that we are fighting against this powerful Maya, illusory energy of the Lord. Mama Maya Duratyaya, Mame Veye Prapadyante, Mayam Etam Tarantite. Even Lord Brahma was bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord, and he took the form of a stag and chased his daughter, and then he felt so ashamed. Although he's a great demigod, great devotee of the Lord, um, but the power of this Maya, this external energy of the Lord, is so powerful that even the demigods, they fall at the feet. Sometimes become overwhelmed by this Maya energy, like Lord Indra. He fell into Maya and he got angry and he tried to kill Krishna's friends and cowherd boy friends and parents, the inhabitants of Vrindavan, the gopis. Became, who is this Krishna? Lord Brahma also stole the cops and cowherd boys and, was again Brahma Vimohana. He was bewildered by Krishna, ultimately, who expanded himself as thousands of Vishnu forms in the cowherd forms of cowherd boys and calves. So, although Krishna seems like a tiny little Damodar who's tied up by the ropes of his mother, this is simply his lila. He wants to experience these different flavors of love. The flavor of Sakya Ras with the cowherd boys, the flavor of Vatsalya Ras with his devotee who feels so much anxiety when Krishna is going out to herd cows and with his cowherd boyfriends in the forest of Vrindavan every day. And ultimately, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is known as Vadanyaya Avatar, Krishna himself, Krishna Varnam Twisha Krishna, that Krishna comes in the mood of Radharani and the color of Radharani. And Radharani is very compassionate. So although Kali Yuga is the most degraded age, so degraded, so much pop going on, so many sinful activities going on every day, there's one great thing, Kalir Dosha Nidirajan Asir Eko Mahad Guna, the great quality in Kali Yuga, Kirtana Deva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Parambrajat. That Gauranga Mahaprabhu, not only is he giving his holy name full of all his potencies, the Tasya Karyam Karanam Chavidyate Natatyamasya Vyadikas Tradisyate. Sarvasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate. Swabhavaki Gana Bala Kriya Cha. That all the potencies that you can imagine that God has, creating millions and trillions of universes coming out of his pores of his body in the form of Karanadaksha Vishnu, Krishna's expansion, Yasya Prabho Prabhupato Jagadanda Koti, millions and millions of universes, and we're in one tiny little mustard seed universe. All these potencies, the potency of all these Shivas in every universe who is destroying at the time of devastation, destroying all the universes by the fire of Lord of devastation. All these potencies are invested in the holy name. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us his holy name freely, Vadanyaya, with a full compassion, no qualification required. And not only that, but in the holy name, in the age of Kali, he's revealing the most intimate concept of prema, bhakti, love of God, that Krishna is playing on his flute in Vrindavan in the moonlit night of the Shravat season, this autumn season. And the gopis are running from their husbands into the forest because of this flute, the messenger of Krishna. And these are married gopis. This is Parakiya, lawless love. And Krishna's Leela's, he's acting like a young teenager with his gopis. Of course, these are all ultimately expansions of Radharani, who is the Ladini Shakti, or the pleasure potency of the Lord. So this is nothing mundane, as it is in the material world. This sex desire in the material world is a perverted reflection of this wonderful madhurya ras, this taste of love of God in this flavor of conjugal love, this conjugal love of God. Radharani, when she hears the name Krishna, her hairs stand on end. Yugayitam nameshana chakshusha pravishayitam shunyai. Tears flow from the eyes like torrents of rain when chanting the name Krishna. So this is what is being given to us by the Supreme Lord in his incarnation as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here in the age of Kali. And we are unbelievably fortunate to be gifted by the great acharyas and by our great acharya Srila Prabhupada, who was predicted by Bhaktivinoda Thakur that one great Senapati, commander-in-chief, will take birth, and he will take this wonderful Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the ocean of the love of God, the ocean of devotion, throughout the world. He will spread it throughout the world uh, beyond the boundary of India. He will spread it across the ocean in this age of Kali, and gradually this Sankirtan movement will spread and spread this love of God, this prema bhakti, which is the peace formula for the entire world. Um, so Gauranga Mahaprabhu and his Sankirtan movement, of which the ISKCON is part of his pastime, is meant to destroy the demoniac mentality of the people in general. That the people in general have been uh, uh, injected or forced into a demoniac type of lifestyle, a demoniac type of paradigm, where they're simply thinking how to exploit this world, how to exploit everyone, and they have no idea what the purpose of human life is. They're guided by demoniac tendencies and demoniac leaders, is described in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Idam adyamaya labdam imam prapshe manoratam. That today I have gained so much wealth, and then I will gain more in the future. Imam asidam apime bhavishati punardanam. I will gain more and more money. So they're thinking simply money and sense pleasure. Uh, Kanaka, Kumari and Kanaka means young woman and gold. Kali Yuga. The Prickard Maharaj, he came across the mad dog Kali beating Dharma the bull and a cow. Mother Bhumi was in the form of a cow, and he was beating the legs of Dharma, truthfulness, austerity, cleanliness, and mercy. The four legs of Dharma are being beaten down by this mad dog of Kali. So the business of the devotees of the Lord, our business, is to give this Krishna consciousness in the form of Srila Prabhupada's purports, in the form of the books given by Srila Prabhupada. Um, these purports are very powerful. Srila Prabhupada said, anyone who touches my books, their lives will become perfect. And these books are purifying the entire world, the entire demoniac world, demoniac atmosphere. Um, Dambo Darpo Abhimanascha. People are very arrogant, very falsely proud, very conceited. Krodha Purusham, they're always angry. And Purusham, they're very harsh with each other. Agyana Chabijatasya, they have no real knowledge of who they are. As Krishna told Arjuna, you don't know who you are. Why are you lamenting for everyone on this battlefield? Everyone has to die. Why are you lamenting for the body, which is is mortal. The body will die one day. It is temporary. So these demoniac qualities, we have to enlighten them. The body of the Lord is always trying to Suridam Sarvabhutanam. He's Advaita Sarvabhutanam, Maitra Karuna Evacha. He's full of compassion and Maitra. He's friendly to all living entities. He doesn't even want to hurt a fly, not even a fly, what to speak of anything more significant. So this is the devotee of the Lord. Kalpatarubhyascha. He's like a wish-fulfilling tree. Patitanam pavanebhyo. He's always full of compassion. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he exhibited this compassionate nature by going everywhere with Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur. They were approaching Jagais and Madais everywhere, demoniac class of men who were murderers, rapists, cheaters, liars. The whole world is full of people who are simply cheating each other. Prabhupada said, cheaters cheating the cheated. And no one is happy. People are miserable. Upadrutaha, always disturbed. They have cool, bad leaders, very poor leaders. Rajasu Janaka Dasyu means that the Rajas, the leaders of society, Janaka Dasyu, they will exploit their own citizens. Dasyu means a thief. Those who do not understand their insignificant position as spirit souls, tiny little spirit souls, infinitesimal position, and do not understand that the goal of human life is to serve and love God, then they develop demoniac qualities and they simply exploit other people, simply exploit their own people. This is the situation of Kali Yuga. Of course, here we see that the Lord will appear as Nrsingadev, Varaha, two great demons. Lord Nrsingadev and Lord Varaha will appear and kill the great demons, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, and protect Prahlad Maharaj. We also know that Diti, she felt very remorse and she wanted to do some atonement because she had seduced. She was a very beautiful woman, and she at the wrong time had conquered her husband's strength, his strength of Tejas, and they had couplement at the wrong time. And so she felt quite remorse and wanted to reform. So Kashyapa said, well, because you have felt remorse for what you've done, your grandson will become a great devotee of the Lord. Not only did her grandson Prahlad become a great devotee of the Lord, but his grandson, Bali Maharaj, also became a great devotee of the Lord. So the Lord is merciful to the devotees and the demons. Prahlad was born in the family of Daityas. The Daityas and the Danavas have demoniac tendencies. Rajo Ragatmika Vidi Trishram Sangha Samud Bhava. Krishna describes that in the mode of passion, one has unlimited obsession with material pleasure and material acquisitions. Trishnang Sangha Samud Bhava. Loba Pravitim Aramba. They're full of greed and Pravitim, very materialistic, working hard like dogs and cats all day to get some money to try and enjoy this material world, this forest of material enjoyment described by Jada Bharat to Maharaj Rahugana is nothing but full of dangers, and one is trying to enjoy his family life, but the wife is always saying, give me money, give me money. The children are, Father, give me this, give me that. That's described in the 5th canto. So this is the situation in modern society today, today's society, that people are misguided. Prayana Palisha Shabda, their life expectancy is very short. Color Asmin Yuge Janaha, Manda Sumanda, and they actually have no brain. No brain. The brain is, their intelligence is stolen by illusions. The intellectuals, the high priests of society, they're called scientists. They hold these chair of authority in society today, and they're all promoting atheism. There's no God. Show me God. I'm God. We're all God. Like this. Ishvaraham Maham Bogi. Siddhaham Balavan Sukhi. We're so powerful. We shoot rockets to the moon. We make nuclear weapons that can blow up everyone. like that demoniac class of men. Krishna said, Etam dristam avastabhya nastalpano pabudaya prabhavanti ugra karmana shaya jagato hita. 16th chapter, that these ignorant people who develop all kinds of atheistic philosophies like Darwinism and life comes from chemicals, Prabhupada said, life comes from life. That they engage in horrible ugra karmana, dark technologies in the mode of ignorance, factories, building bombs, etam drista, dristam avastavya, atheistic philosophy that simply live and enjoy and die. That's all. Prabhavanti ugra karmana. They engage in unbeneficial work meant to destroy their own civilizations. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj was telling his father, telling Lord Nrsingadev in the 9th chapter, 7th canto, that my dear Lord, I have nothing, no desire. I'm not a businessman. I have no desire at all to enjoy this world. Why are you offering me some kind of benediction material benediction? I simply, so chetato vimukha chetasa indriyartam. My only soche, my only lamentation is that these foolish rascals, maya sukaya, they're trying to enjoy the happiness of this material world. Vimudha, they're completely bewildered and deluded by this powerful Maya energy, Mama Maya Duratyaya. So my only desire is that I want to help them get out of this predicament. Millions and millions and millions, trillions of lifetimes going around this universe in different species of life, right? Brahmanda Brahmate Kona Bhagyavan Jeev. Going around, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the great acharyas are so merciful. They're traveling throughout the worlds, throughout the universe, trying to give Krishna consciousness, trying to deliver the fallen souls. This is the mission of Lord Chaitanya, the mission of the Hare Krishna movement, is to travel around the world, travel in your own communities, and give them Yare Dekatari Kaha Krishna. Give them prasadam, give them Prabhupada's purports. Prabhupada said, Vani, more important than Vapu. So much people, oh, Prabhupada disciple, you're so fortunate. No, if you're sincere and you're reading Prabhupada's purports every day and you're associating with devotees and chanting according to the instructions of Guru, then you're feeling the presence of Srila Prabhupada. You're developing your love for Guru, the great Acharya. You're developing your love for the great Acharya. So, Prabhupada is the great Acharya, and his disciples and grand disciples were all associating together, inspiring each other. Tushyanti cha, Ramanti cha. We're inspiring each other to glorify Krishna, serve Krishna, and ultimately we want to develop our love of God. That is the goal of human life. How to develop this attachakti, this attachment to the lotus feet of Krishna. Raganuga Bhakti is the initial stage of love of God, Atha Shakti. Thank you very much. And excuse me if I offended anyone. If there are any comments or questions, we can open up the floor for comments and questions and go from there. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, as always. So much nectar. Devotees, we will also like to first and foremost apologize to you. There was an unwelcomed noise coming from one individual. I personally do not know him. Today was like the first time I saw him here. His person and his name are all new to me. But we tried to keep him mute, but he was still loud, and eventually we had to let him go. So we apologize for the unwelcomed sound from his background. With that being said, if any devotee may have questions, comments, reflections, realizations you may want to ask, share, please indicate by using the hand emoji or your physical hand. You may be asked to unmute to ask your questions or share your reflections. Hare Krishna. We just have one quick question, and that is, I'm not sure whether it was yesterday or sometime Friday last week, but I was asking a question and I was wondering what actually got me to joining Hare Krishna. Because when I look back before I became Hare Krishna devotee, there were lots of questions I had about God that I never could have imagined that I could one day accept what the Hare Krishnas say about God. But here I am, I have accepted them. And so my question is, to those who are not yet Hare Krishna devotees, how do we explain to them that God, the Almighty God, sometimes comes into this world, and not just come into this world, but he comes into this world and engage in a fight. The Almighty Lord, he says, let there be light, and that is light. He can do anything and everything just by will. But here he is fighting. So how do we explain these wonderful pastimes of the Lord to those who are not yet devotees, to try to encourage them to come closer and closer to Krishna consciousness?
Well, if everything originates from the Lord, this is many theologians, this dilemma of evil and so on. Why does God allow, heinous activities and so on? But ultimately, everything comes from Krishna. But and also Adi Kavaye, he's the origin of all our kind of tendencies. We have a fighting tendency. Comes from Krishna. Krishna has this sporting tendency in him as well. God is the source of all different types of emotions and tendencies and qualities and so on. Of course, Krishna is a Papa Vidham. He is completely untouched by sinful reactions. So even he comes and he kills, like Pondraka and Dvidvid Gorilla and Shishupal, he cut his head off. And people are, this How could God be like, no, but Putana, actually the story of Putana is very interesting. Lord Vamanadev, he came to Bali and asked for 3 steps of land. And Bali had a daughter. Her name was Ratnamali. When she saw Vamanadev, she fell in love with him in the mood of Vatsalya, motherly love. She said, oh, I wish that this beautiful young boy could be my son, and I would give him my breast milk. So in the next incarnation of Ratnamali, she took birth as Putana. And Krishna blessed her. He killed her, but she went up to Goloka Vrindavan and was a nurse, a wet nurse for Mother Yashoda. So whatever Krishna does is wonderful and absolute, and it's very auspicious for anyone who is killed by Lord Krishna or his avatars. They immediately go back to the spiritual world. Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, even Ravana, Shishupal, all these demons, they all get the mercy in one shot. Just as soon as Krishna kills them, they develop their original swarup in the spiritual world. At least they get moksha, one kind of moksha. So when people ask us these questions, we have to be careful, of course, that we cannot explain the intimate glories of the holy name to the less foolish or less intelligent. So sometimes when people ask these questions, why is God dancing with all these gopis? This is highly immoral. Why is God killing? Isn't that immoral? Then we have to explain in a very brief way that God is absolute. Wouldn't you like to be killed by God, your body? God touches you, you get completely purified of all your sinful reactions, and he blesses the demons that they go back to the spiritual world. So don't compare God to some mundane, foolish, conditioned soul who's running around killing this and killing that and committing all kinds of crimes. God is not a criminal. He's not evil. He's not Hitler or any of these demoniac persons who go around killing. He is benefiting the entire world. Yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhavatiti bharata paritranaya sadhanam vinashaya chaduskritam. He arranges for the death of the demons, and he puts the demigods and devotees in power. Again and again this happens, millennium after millennium. Kalki will come, and he will kill all the demoniac kings, and he will uh, uh, reintroduce Satya Yuga, which goes for over 1 million years. Satya Yuga is a very long age. Well over almost 2 million years, there will be Satya Yuga. Kalki is just killing all the demoniac kings at the end of Kali Yuga. And they also get moksha. They may get Swarupa Moksha, Salokya Moksha, Sarishti Moksha, the different types of um, liberation in Vaikuntha planets. So the bottom line is hard to explain to a non-devotee, but at least we can say, just like the sun, it may touch a dirty place, but it's not contaminated by a puddle of urine, for example, or something nasty, but it extracts the pure water out of the urine and makes clouds. So Krishna is like the sun. Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andhakar. He's not touched by illusion. That is something. Of course, by association with the devotees and by explaining very simply and humbly, if the person is not challenging, like I know many religious people, they come to me, oh, your God is immoral. They're looking for faults. And it's offensive to the holy name to preach to the less intelligent people who are not actually receptive. They're not humble. They're asking questions in a challenging way. I meet these demonic people all the time, and they call themselves religious. They're not religious. They're demoniac. Ravana, he worships Shiva, but he's a demon. And Shiva is almost Vishnu. Hiranyakashipu, he worshipped Lord Brahma. And he knew about the soul, but he hates Vishnu. So people may say they're religious, but they're not. They're irreligious. That's in the 7th canto. So people who approach in humility, the Madhyamadikari, he avoids demoniac. He associates with devotees. He recognizes that the Lord is in everyone's heart as Vishnu, Chaitya Guru. And he preaches to those who are innocent, who are simple-minded. Simplicity is a quality of a potential devotee. Is they're simple and they're willing to listen. If you want to challenge a person who has knowledge, then you're wasting your time, right? You have to approach with humility. Upadikshanti te ganam, gananinas tattvadarshi. Upadikshanti te. Take instructions in a humble way. So we have to be careful when someone says, your God's a killer. He's evil, he's pernicious. What's he doing killing, Okay, are you challenging me? Or do you really want to understand? Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the answer. I love the answer. Yes. Krishna is the source of everything, so why not? Hare Krishna. Anyone else with something to ask or to share? Anyone else? Ishwara Prabhu, Hare Krishna, thank you for being here. Ishwara Prabhu is here. Prabhuji, Kripanidhi Prabhu, you're speaking from India?
I'm in Mayapur, Prabhu. I'm back in Mayapur.
Oh, so
I'm waiting to come to Africa.
Jai! Hare Krishna.
I'm praying to Lord Chaitanya. I really want to come to Africa. My god brother, Kavi Chandra Maharaj, is on his way to Nigeria. I said, Prabhu, put me in your suitcase. This is a place where no one can do kirtan like Africans.
Yes. That's
kirtan.
For sure.
That's for sure.
Yes.
So I'm very eager for the beautiful devotees of Africa.
Yes. Jai, thank you so much. Well, since you mentioned His Holiness Kavichandra Swami Maharaj, we say all God is His Holiness Kavichandra Swami Maharaj Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Madhuma Prabhu, yes, please, you may unmute.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. All grace unto you. We are so pleased to have you again on this platform. We are so happy to see you. And we are happy to see that you are even more radiant than what you are the other time. You are looking more radiant, Prabhu.
It's your mic is a little distorted.
Yeah, he said you're looking more radiant.
Oh, thank you. It's a holy Dham. Mayapur, all of the activities. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is here. Yeah. Eternal activity.
Yeah. All right, so Madhuma Prabhu, yes, go ahead.
Yes. Previously, I wanted to to give you the proposal of coming to Africa, but somehow or the other, maybe mind is communicating. We'll be so much delighted to have you in Africa. We'll be so much delighted. And I'm sure we are going to have a very good association with African devotees, especially the West Africa. I also wanted to ask a question about the ninth offense about chanting the holy name. We stated that we should not instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. But during your last discussion, I can see that it's like you are answering that question. Because I start wondering, how do we preach? We start from people who are faithless. Then when we give them the holy name, the instruction, probably they become faithful. So I used to get confused when they say it's an offense to instruct the faithless person about the glories of the holy name. But I think you have answered some of your last answer. Actually, partially answer that question. But if you like to elaborate more, I'll be very happy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, did you get all his questions?
I think he's touching on. You can repeat it, Prabhu.
Well, yeah, okay. So, yeah, he was saying that it was more or less like telepathy because he was going to ask you to try to visit Africa. And then you said you were talking to your godbrother, His Holiness Kamachandra Swami Maharaj. And again, he said, specifically, when you have to go to Africa, try visit West Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try
okay, West Africa.
Yes.
It's a big place, big place. Okay.
Yes, yes. yes. And then he had a question. The question is, as he said, the ninth offense against the chanting of the holy names of the Lord, that is to instruct faithless people on the glories of the holy names of the Lord. So he was wondering if we do not instruct those who are faithless, how do they become faithful? But you answered a little bit of that question in your last response. But if you would like to throw more light to that question, how do the faithless people become faithful if they do not get the association of the devotees, or devotees do not preach to them?
Right. So thank you, Prabhu, for the question. Very important question. When we meet people in the public places, we give them the holy name, maybe in the form of Bhagavad Gita or in the form of the Kirtan. And because people are innocent and they're perhaps Arto Jigyasu Artarti Ganicha, they're one of the four pious people, as Krishna says in the Gita, four kinds of pious people. They're pious, so they have some initial inquiry. Their faith is not strong, but they're interested that there's something more than this mundane knowledge. So we give them the holy name. And then they come to the temple. When we give them the holy name, or we give them Srila Prabhupada's purports, Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, for example, Prabhupada is preaching to them. And we also have to remember that Krishna says, Yesham tu antakatam papam janana punya karmanam te dvanva, that people who did some piety in their previous life, they will naturally be guided by Super Soul, Jnana Deepena Bharata, give them the lamp of realization and knowledge from within the heart. So we know that Super Soul is also working with us. We're working outside their body, out externally, and they're getting Srila Prabhupada's books, they're getting the holy name and the kirtan. So they come and associate with the devotees because either they're inquisitive or they understand their suffering, or they may think, oh, these guys have nice prasadam, and maybe they have a place where I can, maybe Krishna will help me monetarily, something like that. Or they're intellectually inclined. Arto jigyasu artarti gani cha gani. They're intellectually inclined, what's the truth and so on. So these four types will approach. Slowly, with the association of the devotees, their faith becomes stronger. But they still may not realize. I was in the temple for probably 3-4 weeks before I realized that Krishna was God. Most of us joined because chanting Hare Krishna was very blissful. Sat Chit Ananda is full of Ananda. And we also saw people like ourselves joining, the young hippie types, and we could relate with them. And also the prasadam was very powerful. But the faith in Krishna, it's like milk. You have to boil it, and it gets thicker and thicker and thicker as you boil it and boil it. So as we go through these steps of adoshada tata sadhu sangha tata bhajana kriya shat tato anartha nivriti shat tata nishta tato ruchi ata shakti tato bhava, and then prema. So we're walking up the steps. You see, the first is a little bit of faith, but you don't tell them that God has girlfriends. you know, He's having conjugal relationships in the bushes of Vrindavan. You can't say that. That's so offensive to the holy name. But we give Krishna book to people, and in the Krishna book, Prabhupada describes Krishna's dancing in the full moon night in the forest of Vrindavan with the gopis. So let Prabhupada explain to them. And of course, there's a whole uh, preliminary explanation that this is not mundane sexual activity. This is the highest experience of love for Krishna. Everyone wants love, and they interpret love as lust. In the material world, it's all lust. In the spiritual world, it's divine love. It's the complete diametrical opposite. So we don't go there. If we give them a book, a Krishna book, well, they can go home and read it, but we can't personally start talking about Krishna Lila before they understand that Krishna is God. They have to read Bhagavad Gita, that they're not the body, they're spirit, soul, and so on and so forth, until they come to the 18th chapter and it says surrender. So these are steps. Adoshada tata sadhu sangha tata bhajana kriya syat tata tato anartha nivriti syat, like that. Slowly, one makes progress. And then the faith becomes thicker and thicker and thicker. And the goal is to attain Anurag Bhakti. In Sadhana Bhakti, there's the Vedi, which is the rules and regulations, where we mechanically chanting the holy name, and of course we derive satisfaction and bliss. But the mind is not fully dwelling on Krishna 24 hours a day. The mind may go back to some material thing, then come back on the holy name. Therefore, we wake up early and we chant very carefully our rounds, pronouncing them properly and avoiding the 10 offenses. This is called Nama Bas, the middle stage. But slowly we come to Sudanam, or pure chanting of the holy name, without the 10 offenses, that is on the horizon for the Madhyamadikari. And so if we can come to that platform in this lifetime, then of course, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto, Madhyajimam Namaskuru. Always think of me, Krishna says. 24 hours a day, Krishna's wonderful form, his name, his qualities, his guna, his lila, his rupa, and his nam, all are invading the mind, inundating the mind 24 hours a day. That's the beginning of attachment, internal attachment to the Lord, devoid of any offenses. That is Sudanam. So this is a gradual process, Prabhupada would say, a gradual process. But we don't want to become complacent. We do not want to become complacent in our devotional service. We have to avoid watering the weeds, like desire for name and fame, desire for followers, desire for respect within the community of devotees. These are all little dangerous anarthas that may come up if we're not serious about our devotional service, controlling the false ego and so on, false pride. These are demoniac qualities that try to infiltrate us, our minds. So, yeah. So basically, we tell them, yeah, this is very blissful. Chant Hare Krishna. And then they come because they're interested. Or they read the Bhagavad Gita and Prabhupada is very powerful. It's very clear. You're the soul. You know, you have karma. You have to accept a bona fide guru. It goes through the whole very, very clear. There's no nebulous stuff going on here. I went to church before. I couldn't understand too much. I mean, who am I? The pastor says, you have a human soul. No, the soul is neither human or an animal. The soul is, a spark of pure spiritual energy. This knowledge has to be given by a self-realized soul, or else things become, even in religions, there's so much materialistic contamination there, material contamination. So basically, they come because they see devotees are very bright-faced, they're very blissful, and internally they're attracted. The soul is attracted to Krishna, and devotional service is non-different from Krishna. So they see devotees doing devotional service, they're attracted because it's Krishna. Oh, I got to associate with these people. I really like them. And slowly they can understand. Ultimately, if they read the whole Bhagavatam, then the 10th canto is the face of the Lord. First canto is the feet of the Lord. So we have to go slowly up to the face of the Lord and not jump over the 9 cantos. That is sahaja, apasampradaya, false sampradayas. That's what that is. Is that okay?
It's okay, Prabhu. Thank you very much. I'm very much satisfied. Thank you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the
You're welcome.
and elaborate answer. Anyone else with something to ask before we call it a day today? I have one last question, Prabhu, and if I may put the verse back on the screen.
Okay.
Yes, I have a question from the purport.
Okay.
So the last verse we discussed today, 3:14:5, the last but one sentence, it is said by Bhishmadev that all who were present on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original spiritual existences after death. So this statement mentioned here by Srila Prabhupada as is retreating from Bhishma Dev. I just want to know that does this statement mean that all those who were killed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra had directly come from the spiritual world to enact this pastime, and after dying on the battlefield, they went back to the spiritual world in their original spiritual existences? Or is it that regardless of where the individuals might have come from, whether they came from the spiritual world or they were in the material world, rotten here like myself, rotten here, that if I engaged in the war and I died on the battlefield, I go to the spiritual world and I have an original spiritual existence there? Which is which? Is it because every living entity is originally having a spiritual existence in the spiritual world, or those who are originally in the spiritual world coming down here with the Supreme Lord to enact this pastime, they went back home? Which is which, please?
Right. So if we read the Srimad Bhagavatam in the 8th canto, and throughout the Bhagavatam, there we read that there was a war going on, a great struggle going on between the demigods and the Daityas. Along the beach of Svetadweep, there's an island in the ocean of milk. So the 7 oceans are there: saltwater ocean, then there's the sweetwater ocean, then there's the ocean of liquor, then there's the ocean of ghee, ocean of milk, ocean of yogurt. Like this, the 7 oceans were created by Priyavrata Maharaj. And these are oceans are all here in this solar system here called the Bhumandala. So we read in the 8th canto that the Daityas, like they were fighting the demigods, and sometimes the demigods prevailed and were successful. At other times, because Indra and the demigods neglected Brihaspati, many times the Daityas were prevailed and were superior and victorious over the demigods, as in the case of Bali Maharaj. So the demons and demigods are always struggling here in this universe, in these Bhumandala, these different parts of the universe. Now Kumeni, he was riding on a lion, and Lord Vishnu came on Garuda, and he killed Kumeni, but he got a benediction. His benediction, he would take birth as Kamsa at the end of Dwapara Yuga. So Kamsa was a very powerful demon. And all these demons, like Vidvida Gorilla, had fought for the monkeys with Lord Ram in Treta Yuga. It's described in the 10th canto and other places. Vidvid was actually a devotee and a friend of Hanuman, but by bad association, he became demonic. Then there's Bomasura, there's Jarasandha. Kamsa defeated all these great powerful kings who had come from different parts of the universe. And the whole arrangement was there for Krishna to alleviate the burden of this area, of this world, not just this earth area, but there's so many other Varshas. There's 7 different Varshas: Ilavarta Varsha, this Varsha, that Rudra Varsha. And that's just one part of the whole solar system. So in all these areas, there's things going on. There's human beings. There's all kinds of uh, different kinds of beings, the Kinaras, um, Gandharvas, higher planets, lower planets. This is all going on. So these kings, they appeared here by the arrangement of the Lord. Khomeini was killed, became Kamsa. Hiranyakashipu, he cursed Khomeini that his sons would take birth and he would kill his own sons at the end of Dwapara Yuga. So Kamsa killed all the sons of Devaki. They're actually in a previous lifetime sons of Khomeini, and Hiranyakashipu was angry with Khomeini sons for some reason. That's described also in the Puranas. So it's not that these demoniac kings just came out from Vaikuntha and then went back to Vaikuntha. No, not like that. Actually, Kashyapa Muni, he had 16, I believe, 16 wives. And he's the father of the Daityas and the demigods because his wife is Aditi. And Aditi is the mother of the demigods, mother of Indra, mother of Varuna, mother of Vayu. At the same time, Kashyapa's other wife, who was a sister of Aditi, and they're all daughters of, I believe it's, who are they daughters of? I just can't remember right now. Daksha, okay. They gave birth to, Aditi gave birth to the demigods, devotees of the Lord. Kashyapa impregnated Diti, and she gave birth to the Daityas. But he's the father of the demons and the demigods. So things get, there's a whole complex arrangement of beings. And on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna arranged that the Pandavas, who were sons of the demigods, that they would defeat and reduce the burden of the earth, kill Kamsa and Jarasandha and Bhaumasura and Shishupal, who of course was in a previous birth was Ravana and Kumbhakarna, and before that Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, and then they take birth as Jagai Madai in Kali Yuga and they get love of God. So in one sense, not a blade of grass moves without the sanction of Krishna. So Krishna is arranging these things. But also the living entity, he falls into this world, and he, due to his association with the material modes of nature, he either goes up, Ujvam Gachanti, Satvikam, in the mode of goodness, he becomes a demigod for a while, or if he takes birth in the mode of passion or ignorance, he takes birth amongst the lower species of life. So these things are going on, and Krishna, he does interventions, right? He's doing interventions, and because he is trying to keep Dharma going through Treta Yuga, through Dwapara Yuga, through Kali Yuga even. He has to arrange for the death or killing of the demoniac influence. Lord Rama, he killed the Rakshasas. Krishna killed the demons. And prior to that, there was Satya Yuga. And now in Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya comes and he kills everyone's basically demonic. They're all eating cow's flesh every day. They're not following any rules and regulations of Dharma. So Lord Chaitanya, Krishna comes very mercifully in this age. So when the 600 million warriors were killed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, they all saw Krishna. So one Indian gentleman, he came to see Prabhupada. I don't know if it was in Hardwar or where. Came to see Prabhupada. He said, "Oh yeah, I'm a descendant of one of the great kings on the battlefield of Kurukshetra." And Prabhupada said, "That's not a fact." He said, "Whoever was on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, they all got killed and they all saw Krishna. And who saw Krishna, they went back to Vaikuntha." He said, "None of those No one who was killed on that battlefield has any descendants living now in Kali Yuga 5,000 years later. Prabhupada said that's not a fact. You could not have been a descendant of one of the warriors. He told the Indian man this. I think he was a nurse, a prominent person. So when they go back to Vaikuntha or in the Brahmajyoti, they get one of they can enjoy the 5 types of liberation, moksha or sharpya, salokya, samipya, and sarishti. Association with the Lord, the same features as the Lord, same planet as the Lord, same opulence as the Lord, or moksha, like Shishupal merged into the body of Krishna. So they get this stuff, but this love of God that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving in Kali Yuga, way beyond just Dasya Ras or Sakya Ras. He's giving us this Madhurya Ras, which is very rare, very, very rare indeed. He's giving it to us. Just take it. How to experience this, how to enter into the wonderful pastimes. Nikunjayona Ratikela Sidaye Yayali Bir Yuktira Pekshania. Tatati Daksha Dati Valabasya. Bande Guru Sri Charanara Vindam. That the great acharyas, the great devotees are assisting the gopis who are arranging beautiful pastimes with Radha and Krishna in the forests of Vrindavan in the dead of night. So that is a very unique gift given to us. So all those 600 million warriors that were killed, yeah, they got sent back to the spiritual world, no question about it. And they may not have just come down some kind of pastime with Krishna. No, that's not my understanding. Kamsa was there and fighting along the beach of Svetadweep and along the banks of the ocean of milk. That's described in the 8th canto. So that's one example. And there are many others.
Wow. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I definitely was not there. Otherwise, I would not be here. I was not on the battlefield.
Yeah.
But I wish I were there.
Well, you did something because Yesham tu antagatam papam janana punya karmanam. Prabhupada said that you're coming to help me spread this mission is not an accident. And he quoted that verse that due to pious activities previously, we are attracted and continue in devotional service in this lifetime. So, yeah, that verse corroborates that you were maybe some pious Brahmin or something in your last life.
Well,
yeah.
We will accept that. And we pray that we make this life our last birth in this material world. It is a possibility. Srila Prabhupada has given us that assurance. So we pray that we'll be able to follow through Srila Prabhupada's teachings. We leave the rest in the hands of Shri Guru and Krishna. But Prabhuji, I believe the whole Hare Krishna Africa, and particularly my proud self, we are so grateful to have you back after quite a while. And like Madhavan Prabhu said, the radiance is so good, it's so good. And our gratitude to Karunamaya Mata also for being there to do whatever is necessary. We thank her.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm just a little star. And you African devotees are like sun. The stars are just reflecting the sunshine. So I'm just reflecting the sunshine of African devotees.
If we are any lucky at all, we are like starlets. But Ishwara Prabhu, before we call it a day, do you have something to share briefly, Ishwara Prabhu?
Myself?
No, I mean Ishwara Prabhu.
Oh, yeah. Sure, no problem. Go ahead.
Yeah, I will. My next trip to Africa is gonna be with the KRIPANIDHI Prabhu.
Yeah.
Okay, promise. Are you promising, Ishwara?
Yeah, I think so. It is
you
a
have
promise.
to send me a guarantee. Send me a guaranteed letter with your signature.
Okay, I will do that. Just be ready.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
It's recorded already.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, it's on record now. It's on record. You can't go back now. Ishwara.
Yeah, okay.
I got you.
All right.
Hare Krishna.
Right. Wherever you are is Vrindavan, Ishvara. Wherever you are is Vrindavan. So Africa or America, anywhere you take me, I'll be in Vrindavan. That'd be very nice.
Yes.
Yeah. You agree, Ishvara?
Yeah.
Jai.
Yeah, you agree. Because you're the Vrindavan man, so
yeah, he's a Vrindavan man.
He's a Vrindavan man.
Yeah, so he carries Vrindavan with him. Yes.
Yeah. Very nice.
Shrimamara Prabhu, do you have something to say before we call it a day? Shrimamara, is he still here? I hope he's still here. Otherwise, let me see. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Shrimamara Prabhu. Hare Bo.
My humble obeisance to KRIPANIDHI Prabhu. We thank Krishna for his health. We thank God he's back with us. We always enjoy his very, very enlightening classes. And the happy news is his desire to be in Africa. So we're praying very hard that Krishna will fulfill that desire.
Jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Bo. All right, so
I also invite all you devotees to come to Mayapur and show us how to dance and chant. All the African devotees.
There were a couple of devotees from Gita Nagri, particularly in Mayapur. Some of them just returned. Radha Maharaj had a big program. There were lots of devotees from Gita Nagri there. So
nice.
Yeah. Well, devotees, we thank you all as always. We're going to humbly request you all to kindly unmute yourselves, and we all with one heart, one love, chanted the holy names of the Lord to express our appreciation to our revered speaker, our beloved uncle, His Grace, KRIPANIDHI Prabhu, for sharing his love and wisdom with us all today. Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Vancha Kalpa Tarivascha, Kripasya Uttaram Pavanabhyo Vaishnava Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. All brothers His Grace KRIPANIDHI Prabhu ki Jai. All brothers assembled Vaishnava Vaishnavi devotees ki Jai. Hare Krishna.